Hi everyone, it's Anne here from Positively Papercraft, and I'm back this week with another tutorial. Now I want to show you the one that I made originally, which was just, like a prototype, and I suppose it will give a different take on it as well. So this is what it is. So I suppose I've called it a bay window card. Now it is similar to a one that I did quite a while ago. If you hang on, I'll just get the clip. Yeah, so if you look here, this was from about a year ago. It was called like a bay window card, and you can see there it is quite similar, but this one covers the whole of the card, and then when you open it up you have this sort of beautiful effect. Now, as I said, this was just a prototype, so I didn't really have a lot of sort of like little furniture dies and things like that, but plus that paper was way too busy. But we're going to make a different style today, but this is just to show you that you could actually make it into, you could have windows and stuff on it. It's entirely up to you. So we have a card base, which I've chosen red, and we're going to score it, and it measures 11 3/4 by 5 inches. So on the long side you just want to score it at 5 7/8. And that will be our card base. Okay, we now have the bit, which is going to be the sort of window or the display. This is 11.5 by 4 7/8. On the long side you're going to score at 1 inch, 4 1/8 of an inch, 7 3/8, and 10.5. So this will be your display. So the first two folds will be a valley. Well, the two 1 inch score lines would be a valley, and then these ones will all be a mountain, because it's going to give you that sort of bay window effect. And then the card will fold flat because we're going to attach one side. We're not going to attach this side, we're going to tuck it in. But when we do come to fold it up, that will fold up like this, and it will just all go completely flat inside of the card. So we would have it stuck down like this, and then when we want to fold it up it would just be straight in like that, and the card would close. So it does fold flat. So as I said before, you can cut windows in it, which obviously is what I've done with this one. But I think what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to cut ovals in it. But you could have it as a little scene, you could have maybe as a little Christmas tree and a fireplace, just whatever you want to have. I do think it looks beautiful with the windows. And of course you could also put a little tea light in the bottom. So a really special card, I think. Now I'm just going to grab my oval. So I've just took an oval die, and I know that it's going to fit in all three of these little boxes. Now in terms of size, this oval is 4 inches by 2 3/4. So if you want to use an oval, so I'm going to cut it out of all three of the boxes, and then I'll be back. Alright, so there's the 3 ovals cut out. Now, so this would be, obviously you're probably going to have to give them a little fold again. Okay, so that's going to be our sort of bay window effect there. Okay, now for the inside, what I've done, of course you can use anything. It could be patterned paper, you could stamp stuff, whatever you want to have as your background. So I've cut 2 pieces of blue card, which are, let me get the measurement for you, they should be 5 3/4 by 4 3/4. Now don't worry about them going right to the end, because this piece of card is going to go virtually to the end. But if you make them this size, they'll be fine. And obviously don't go over the score line. You need to just put them either side of the score line. Okay. And then what I've done is the same size, I've took some vellum here and I've just heat embossed some snowflakes on it with white embossing powder, and I'm going to glue them over the top of my blue card. So this will be my little background for my scene. Okay, so I'm going to glue them on there, and then it's up to you what you decorate it with. I'm going to go for a Christmas scene again this time because I love them. But obviously, as I said, you don't have to. It could be a little room. It could be anything you want it to be. And I've used some edger dies to just make the little hills. Now again, don't worry if they don't go to the end, because this piece here will cover that. So I've made some little hills. And I may have to adjust some of them and cut a few of them down. You know, it doesn't really matter, don't worry, as long as you know it's you're gonna have 1 inch here to hide that. And then I've used my little, which I use a lot at the minute, my little village and tree dies. I've just put some SIZZIX expand paste on them to look like snow. Now I've had loads of messages about these dies. I do remember I bought them about 1.5 years ago, and when I went back on the site to where I got them, they're not there anymore. I've had a good scour around and I just can't find them. I'm really sorry, but if you look, I'm sure you can find something similar. There's a lot of companies have these kind of dies out, and obviously they're just going to be, you know, my little scenes. And I've got some with little reindeers, and I'm just gonna, you know, kind of build up the scene. And that's what we're going to see when we have our beautiful little bay window on. So I think you get what I mean, and I'm just gonna build it up. I may actually even have to cut a few more out, but you know, I'm just going to create a lovely winter scene. So I will get all this stuck on, and they're going to get stuck onto the back of the card. You're not going to put anything on here really. On this one I did put the little curtains that I had, so you could, you know, put stuff behind it if you want, but obviously don't put like really bulky things, because remember this is going to fold up. So I'm going to get on and stick these on, and I'll be back. Okay, I have done my little scene, so that looks really, really pretty and Christmassy. Now for the sort of bay window bit here, I've cut the next size up ovals to have, you know, like a pretty frame on there like that. So I'm going to quickly glue these on, and then we're going to start and get this together, and I'll show you how we're going to tuck one side in so that the card actually does fold flat. Okay, there we go, got my pretty little ovals on there. So The first side here is what I'm going to attach permanently to the card. Okay, so let me just make sure this is all sort of level. So this bit here, I can glue this straight on to the card, which is why you don't really want to have too many of your little seams going right to the end. And I'm going to glue it right to the end, just there. Okay, so that is going to glue on there. Now what I've done is I've just took some gold mirror card and some red card. They need, the red card or whatever colour you're having needs to be 4 7/8 by 1 inch, and then if you're having a layer on the top, that would need to be just probably half an inch, half a size smaller, so that would be 1 inch by 4 7/8, so maybe 7/8 by 4 3/4. And this is going to go over to hide that sort of, well, that really. And what I've done is I've put foam tape on the back, so just peel that off, and then this is going to just get attached over the white bit there. So now we know one side is attached. Okay, now for this side, this will need to tuck in so that when we come to fold the card, all right? So I've done the same thing again, the same measurements, but I've only put a piece of foam down one side, the side that's going to be at the end, so that when I glue this onto here, tape it on there, I can tuck my little card in there. So peel the backing off. And then that is just going to get stuck right at the very end again. Okay, so now that will tuck into there, so that the card will be like this. And then when we want to fold it, we will fold this in here, and this round here. It will fold completely flat like that, and that will be your card. And then when you open it up, or whoever opens it up, we'll just tuck that back into there, and that's your sort of, well, I'm calling it a bay window card. I think it's so pretty, and it looks just beautiful displayed because it's such a big sort of card. So I'm going to just do a few more decorations to the front and also the actual front of the card, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I've finished mine, and what I ended up doing was putting just some really cute little flowers and things down the side, little poinsettia flowers and some little greenery there. But that's basically what it looks like. And then on the reverse, so if we fold it up, this goes over here and then round again, and then it goes down and folds closed. And what I did was I put just some pretty paper and a Christmas die cut there, and then on the back here, this is where you will write your message, just with a white piece of card. It will fold flat, I mean virtually flat. There's a little bit of width in it there, but it should go in, say, like a 5 by 6, I think. I'll write it on my blog, but yeah, I think it's really pretty. And then when we open it, we just pop that in here, and that is what keeps it closed. And then of course you can then put some pretty tea lights all along the bottom, but yeah, I just think it's really, really pretty. beautiful sort of display card. But as I said, with the original one I made, if you want to pop windows in it, that's completely fine. You could also have it as a little sort of room display. It's entirely up to you, but I think it's just such a pretty card. So I'll have it on my blog, and I'll also put some little tea lights along the bottom, and you can see you know, what it looks like with them as well. But yeah, I think this is really nice. So thanks for watching. Oh, and before I forget, make sure you join tomorrow night at 6 p.m. I'll be having another YouTube live where we'll be using some more crepe paper, making some more crepe paper flowers. And I've got my new die coming out next week, die number 2. So yeah, excited about that. So thanks for watching, take care, and bye for now.